In the dusty town of Eket Hollow, the sun was always too bright. The shadows were always too long. A strange man lived there. His name was Odin. People called him many things. They called him the Undertaker's curse, the ghost of the village, and the man who laughed at funerals. No one knew when he came to Eket Hollow. Some said he had always been there. Others said he came from the marshes one night during a storm. He walked barefoot and wet, smiling the whole time. He never got old. His body stayed thin and bent. His skin looked dry like paper. His eyes were black and sharp. His laugh was the scariest part. It was high and hollow. It was not a happy laugh. It sounded like someone who enjoyed pain. He laughed at every funeral. It didn't matter who died, young or old, rich or poor. When people cried, Odin laughed. He stood at the edge of the crowd and let out his terrible sound. People hated it. Some tried to stop him, but they always failed. Their hands shook. Their voices disappeared. And those who tried to fight him died soon after. Some got sick. Others went mad. Bad luck followed them. One day, a pastor named Reverend Musa told Odin to stop. He held a Bible and a wooden cross. "Why do you mock the dead?" he asked. Odin only laughed louder. The next day, the Reverend was found dead. He was hanging from the church bell rope. His eyes were open, and his tongue was bitten in half. People stopped fighting Odin. They acted like he wasn't there. But the children asked questions. The elders whispered stories. Some said Odin was cursed. Others said he made a deal with death. They believed he gained power from sorrow. Then a woman named Aurora came to town. She was not from Eket Hollow. She came to bury her father's ashes beside her mother. At the cemetery gate, she saw Odin. She did not ignore him. She stared at him. During the funeral, she watched him closely. She saw his lips curl, ready to laugh. When he laughed, Aurora stepped forward. "Is that funny to you?" she asked. The crowd went silent. Odin tilted his head. "It always is." "Why?" she asked. He smiled. "Because they think it ends here. But the real terror begins beneath the soil." His words scared everyone. Some people left. Others stayed and watched. Aurora said no more. That night, she returned to the graveyard alone. She carried a lantern and a shovel. She dug up her father's grave. At the bottom, she found the coffin. It was still closed. But on top of it was a small black pouch. It was tied with string. It moved slightly, like it was alive. She opened it. The smell was awful. It smelled like death. Inside was a tiny face, dry and shriveled. Its mouth was stuck in a laugh. It was sewn to the inside of the pouch. Then Odin appeared. "I told you," he said. "It begins below." Aurora held the pouch. "What is this?" "The first," he said. "The first person I laughed at. I keep a piece of them all." Aurora's hands shook. The mouth inside the pouch moved. It whispered her name. "You made a deal," she said. "With something old." Odin smiled. "Death hates silence. It loves echoes. And I echo through laughter." Aurora threw the pouch at him. It burst open. Tiny black moths flew out. They covered Odin. They bit him. They flew into his mouth and eyes. He screamed. Then he vanished into the grave. The next morning, the people found Aurora. She sat by her father's grave. She was dirty and silent. She held the empty pouch. She never spoke again. But she never left the cemetery. Now, she is the one who goes to funerals. She does not laugh. She only watches. She carries the pouch at her side. Odin is gone. But the people of Eket Hollow have learned something worse. Silence can be more frightening than laughter. In the years that followed, Aurora became a figure no one dared to speak to, yet everyone feared. The children of Eket silently called her the mourner. She wore black every day, even in the heat. Her hair turned grey before its time, and her eyes always seemed to stare just beyond the present moment, as if she could see something the rest of them couldn't. She wandered the village cemetery day and night, tracing invisible paths between graves. And the pouch was always at her side, tied tightly with twine, never opened. But sometimes, when the wind blew too softly, when the night felt too still, people heard things. Not from Aurora. From the pouch. They heard murmurs, whispers, names. And soon, the dead began to move. It started small. A handprint on a grave. A child's toy misplaced, then returned muddy. The fresh graves sagging as if something pushed up from beneath. People dismissed these as tricks of the mind at first. Then came the return of Obina, the butcher's boy, buried just 3 weeks. His mother woke one night to find him sitting at her kitchen table, silent, his eyes hollow. He pointed to the window where Aurora stood beneath the moonlight. "She calls," he whispered. "We must listen." By morning, Obina was gone. Only his muddy footprints remained, and his grave was empty. More sightings followed. The widows of Eket Hollow began to dream of their husbands again. But the dreams were wrong. The dead in their dreams laughed now, high and hollow, the same laugh that Odin once carried. They began to fear Aurora more than they had ever feared him. Yet Aurora never laughed. Not once. Some believed she had become a vessel for death's echo, not through sound, but through stillness. That her silence drew the dead closer, hungrier, more restless. And whatever power Odin had possessed, had not died with him. It had merely changed form. The Reverend's replacement, Pastor Ikenna, tried to bless the cemetery. He brought holy oil, choristers, and scriptures. For a moment, the wind stirred with hope. But as they sang hymns, the ground trembled. The bell in the church tower began to ring on its own, and from its rope hung Pastor Ikenna, swaying gently, mouth open in a silent scream. His tongue was missing. That night, the elders gathered. They whispered of old things. About a forgotten god of mourning, Ezogo, the god of grief and memory. They believed Odin had served it with laughter. Aurora now served it with silence. One brave woman, Nenna the herbalist, approached Aurora in the graveyard. She knelt before her and whispered, "What do you want?" Aurora finally spoke. Her voice was dry, cracked like wind through dead leaves. "It is not what I want. It is what they want." "Who?" Nenna asked. Aurora opened the pouch. Nenna saw nothing inside, but she heard 100 voices. Crying, laughing, whispering her name. She ran that night. She left Eket Hollow and never returned. Now, when someone dies, their family brings their bodies quickly, not for burial, but to be burned. Funerals are silent. No prayers. No songs. Just quiet. Always quiet. Because silence is not peace anymore. It is an invitation. And the mourner still walks the graves, waiting for the next name to be whispered from beneath the soil. Here are 3 moral lessons from this video. 1. Grief must be handled with care. The woman's midnight visits to the graveyard and interaction with supernatural elements reflect how unchecked grief can lead to dangerous or scary actions. It's important to find healthy ways to process loss. 2. The past always leaves echoes. The sealed pouch and the mysterious voices explains how unresolved secrets or unspoken truths can linger, affecting the living. Transparency and resolution are key to healing. 3. Courage can uncover truth, but at a cost. The woman's bravery to face the unknown shows that seeking truth requires strength, but it may come with fear, isolation, or painful discoveries. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the YouTube channel for latest videos on this channel. We love you besties. See you in our next video.